Hello guys, in last class we were discussing transformer on load, that is MMF balancing on load. We left it at half, so let us continue that from there. So I was saying main flux phi is due to the current I1 flowing in the primary circuit, okay, which is flowing from left to right, and I2 is the current which is drawn by the load, and again that will produce secondary flux phi 2 which flows opposite to the main flux, that is from right to left. Yes or not? So when these two fluxes are flowing in opposite direction, then what happens? The resultant flux will be weakened, that is main flux will get reduced. Can I say like that? Yes or not? Yes, because this is opposing, secondary flux phi 2 is opposing main flux phi, so what happens? Main flux will reduce. For an example, let us say your main flux is 5 Weber initially before connecting any load, okay, so there is no flux phi 2 means there is no in opposition, so main flux will be 5 Weber, just for an example it is, okay. Next, when I connect load, I2 will start to produce, I2 will start to flow, so that produces secondary flux phi 2. Let us say phi 2 flux B of 1 Weber, okay, phi 2 flux B of 1 Weber, just for an example sake. So what happens? 5 Weber is flowing from left to right and 1 Weber is flowing from right to left. So what happens? Net resultant flux will be from left to right only, because this has got higher potential, this has got lower potential. So resultant flux will flow from again left to right. So what will be the resultant flux? 5 minus 1, that is 4 Weber. Okay. So there is a deficiency of 1 Weber here. Yes or not? Initially for no load condition 5 Weber was flowing. Now there is a deficiency of 1 Weber. Now let us see how the deficiency is fulfilled. Okay. So that's why they have called here, you can see the magnetic motive force, that is magnetomotive force MMF N2I2 with respect to secondary is called as demagnetizing ampere turns. Yes or not? It is demagnetizing, right? Before it was 5 Weber. Now because of flowing of 1 Weber is what? Causing demagnetizing. Okay. So that's why it is called as demagnetizing ampere turn. This one. Okay. Not this one. This is magnetizing ampere turn and this is demagnetizing ampere turn. Okay. So to balance this or to fulfill the deficiency, now what happens? Let us see the transformer. So when due to the secondary circuit which causes demagnetization, then what happens? Your MMF in the primary side N1 into I1 will also reduce. Yes or not? N1 and I1, N1 into I1 are both what? Combiningly they are producing what? Main flux phi. And now what happened? Due to flux phi 2, what is happening? Your main flux phi is getting reduced, and main flux phi is getting reduced, and what happens? The ampere turns, that is magnetizing ampere turns, will also what? Get reduces. N1 into I1 will also reduce if flux phi reduces. True. Yes or no? Because flux is proportional to your N1 into I1. So if that get reduces, that is N1 into I1, then what happens? What is there here? Tell me. V1 is the voltage of the AC supply. What about here? Yes, it is EMF. Yes or not? E1, E2, and this is V2. Okay. V1, E1, E2, V2. So not E1 is the EMF present in the primary part. True. Yes. Now E1 will also get reduces. Yes. So due to the reduction of the main flux phi, N1 I1 reduces, and due to reduction of N1 into I1, what happens? Your E1 will also get reduced. Okay. But V1 is constant. Remember, AC supply V1 is constant. I am not varying this. This is the constant AC supply that is coming from your company, any of your power supply company. Okay, V1 is fixed, but E1 is reducing here due to the reduction of the main flux phi, and that is due to again secondary flux phi 2. Again, that is due to the load. See, all are interlinked. Okay, from here to here. Okay. So due to this, what happens? So the vector difference V1 minus E1 increases. As I told, V1 is here, E1 is here, and E1 will oppose V1. E1 will not support V1 because due to the Lenz's law, which we already discussed. So we are going to take what? The vector difference, not a vector addition. Okay. So what happens? V1 is constant. E1 was before high, before connecting any load. Now what happened? E1 got reduced. Yes or not? V1 has got E1, not V1. E1 has got reduced. So due to the reduction of E1, the difference of V1 and E1 will increase. Yes or not? Let us say V1 is around 230, and let us say E1 be around 100 volt and all. Just an example, it may be not relevant or exact with respect to actual working. Just for an example, V1 be 230 AC supply and E1 be just your 100 volt before connecting any load. Now when after connection load, what happens? E1 will get reduced, that is say from 100 it drops to 90 obviously. So 230 minus 100 is just 130 and 230 minus 90 is how much? 140. Yes or not? The difference will increase. The difference will increase. So due to this difference, what happens? Your primary winding is forced to draw another extra current from the supply. That current is called as additional current I2 dash. Yes. So due to this increase in the vector difference between V1 and E1, what happens? Your primary winding is forced to draw extra current, an extra current I2 dash. Why we are calling I2? Because I2 dash, I2 because this is due to the secondary current. Yes or not? Everything whatever it is happening due to the secondary current itself. So we are calling it as I2. Again Y dash because it is in opposite to the I2. Okay, I2 dash is in opposite to the I2. So my primary winding will draw an extra current I2 dash so as to nullify the effect caused or produced by I2, so as to fulfill the requirement. Requirement here is what? Load is your requirement. Okay. So what happens? My primary winding will draw an additional current I2 dash from the supply itself. I1 already it was drawing from supply. Along with that, what is happening? I2 dash is the extra current or additional current. It draws from the primary side. So due to this, what happens? The total input will be what? I1 plus I2 dash, because I1 and I2 dash directions are both same. Okay, remember I1 and I2 dash directions are both same. So that's why you can see is the main flux phi. Yes or not? This is the main flux phi, and this one was your phi 2, and this one is due to what? Phi 2 dash. Okay, you can see your phi 2 dash as well as phi main flux as well as phi 2 dash, the directions are both same. Both are in supportive. They are not opposing each other. Only opposing each other what? That is your phi 2. But here let us say phi 2 dash be the flux. Phi 2 dash be the flux due to I2 dash, and phi be the flux due to I1. Okay. So now you can see phi as well as phi 2 dash. You can see at the top, phi and phi 2 dash directions are both same. So both will support each other instead of opposing. Okay. So that's why we have written it as phi plus phi 2 dash. Okay. Now, so now the question arises, how much value does phi 2 dash will have? Okay. How much value will phi 2 dash will have? Phi 2 dash value will be same as that of value of phi 2, but it is opposite in direction of phi 2. Clear? Let me tell you, phi 2 dash magnitude is same as that of phi 2, but direction will be opposite to the phi 2. Direction of phi 2 dash will be in opposite to the phi 2. So due to this, what happens? The phi 2 dash and phi 2 will what? Get nullified. Both will cancel out each other. As I told you that the magnitude of phi 2 dash and phi 2 are both same. Yes, but they are in opposite nature. So phi 2 dash will cancel out phi 2. So net flux which remains in the core is just what? Flux phi after some time, or very instantaneously. Everything happened very fast. Just we have cut on the time here. What happens for this instant? What happened after this much of instant? Everything. Okay, everything happens fast here, but net flux what remains in the core is your ultimately phi, because phi 2 dash will oppose phi 2, and both phi 2 dash and phi 2 will get cancelled out each other. Only what remains in the your core at the final, only phi 2. So this is how MMF gets balanced when load is connected. So what happens when load get connected? I2 is drawn from the secondary side. Due to this, what happens? Phi 2 is produced. Phi 2 is in opposite of flux, main flux phi. So due to this, what happens? There is a reduction in the flux. Yes or not? So that's why it is called as demagnetizing ampere turns, and this is called as magnetizing ampere turns. Yes or not? So there creates a deficiency. There creates an imbalance. Yes, there creates an imbalance in this one. So to balance it, what happened? Balance here, what happened? Again, what happens here? E1 gets reduces as N1 and I1 gets reduces. So E1 will also get reduced. Due to this, what happens? There creates a deficiency or unbalance. So due to this, what happens? Additional current I2 dash is drawn from the supply itself so as to fulfill the demand or supply or make it balanced. So that current we are going to call it as what? I2 dash, as I2 I2 are both same, nothing but the magnitudes of current of I2 and I2 dash are same, but they are opposite in nature. Okay, as per dot convention, it is going from left to right, again it's going from here to here. So both are in opposite each other. So what happens? The flux due to I2 dash as well as flux due to I1, which is not shown here, I1 are both same direction, but flux due to I2 is what? Opposite to the additional current I2 dash. So the flux due to I2 dash as well as flux due to I2 will cancel out each other. So phi 2 dash, phi 2 will cancel out each other. Only net resultant flux will be what? Phi at the end. Okay. So this is what we call it as what? MMF balancing. Yes or not? Here MMF got balanced, right? When you draw additional current, then again what happens? Your product of N1 into I1 again it will increase because additional current it has been supplied here. Yes or not? So again it will increase. So what happens? MMF here gets balanced. So finally what we can conclude here is your transformer is a what? A constant flux machine. Yes or not? At the end. Okay, obviously at a few instants and all, the flux will change as per the load condition and all. Yes or not? But now what happens? At the end we are anyhow end result matters. So at end what happens? Your main flux will remain always same, constant, irrespective of load you connect. After some time what happens? Your flux will remain constant. So what we can say here is your transformer is a constant flux machine. Okay. Now, if you have made conclusion that transformer is a constant flux machine, then can I write like this? N2 into I2 equal to N1 into I2 dash? What does it mean? Ampere turns in the secondary side and ampere turns in the primary side. And N2 and I2 will produce phi 2 and N1 and I2 dash will produce what? Phi 2 dash. And we know that phi 2 and phi 2 dash are both are equal in magnitude, but they are in opposite in direction. True? Yes or not? Again you can see, I can write phi 2 over here and equal to phi 2 dash over here. And phi 2 minus phi 2 dash will be, if I take this right hand side of the terms to the left hand side, then what happens? The resultant flux will be what? 0. Okay, means the contribution both will not cancel out each other. So net resultant flux will be phi. If this statement is true, yes or no? It's a constant flux machine. So that's why what we can conclude here is N2 I2 is equal to N1 into I2 dash. It's not like N1 into I1. Because since we want to come to conclusion that your transformer is a constant flux machine, so only the phi 2 we are going to take part. Phi 2 is what? Cancelled by phi 2 dash. That's why the reason we are going to take it as N1 into I2 dash and not N1 into I1, because N1 into I1 again becomes what? Phi. That will be not equal. Okay. So N2 I2 is equal to N1 into I2 dash. Fine. Now can see you can write like this, I2 dash equal to N2 by N1 into I2. Can just rearrange the format like this and you can write like this. And anyhow we know that the transformer ratio constant N2 by N1 is always equal to K times of I2. Okay, K times of I2. This N2 and N1 is replaced by K times of I2, or you can write it as what? I2 dash equal to K times of I2 over here. Okay. Now again one more thing you have to remember, like I told you already, I2 dash is in always in same magnitude of I2, but I2 dash is in opposite direction to that of I2. That is always I2 dash will be in anti-phase with I2. Okay, I2 dash will be always in anti-phase with the I2. And we know that this is their primary current. So what happens now? Before it was what? I1 equal to I0 and I0 was equal to IC plus IM. Yes or not? True, I1 is equal to I0. Before we were not considering this because there was no any load condition and I2 dash was equal to 0. Yes or not? Before practical transformer we have considered, there what happened? We did not connect any load there. But now we have connected the load, and due to this what happens? Additional current is being drawn from the primary. So total primary current will be what? It will be summation of your no load current I0 plus your I2 dash current, additional current due to the load. So again that remains same. I0 is equal to again vector addition of IC and IM, IC plus IM, that again remains same. But along with that, which current has got added? Your I2 dash current has got added. Okay. And for this and all, we can have some phasor diagram for inductive load for resistive load and capacitive load, because what happens here, I2 lags E2 by in inductive load, and I2 is in phase in pure resistive load, as well as I2 leads E2 in capacitive load. Okay.